morning, everyone. Welcome to the Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii Triple Celebration Buddhist Education Series. I'm Dave Atchison, and I'll be your MC today. So it's my honor today to introduce today's lecturer, Reverend Dr. Mutsumi Wondra. Reverend Wondra was born in Kyoto and graduated from Kyoto Women's University, Japan. She attended Kyoto Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin Hongwanji Seminary in 2006, receiving Tokudo ordination that same year, followed by Kyoshi certification in 2007. Her educational background includes an MA from the Institute of Buddhist Studies, IBS, in 2010, an MA from Ryokoku University Graduate School, Shin Buddhist Studies in 2012, and a PhD in 2018. Additionally, she holds the academic title of Hokyo in Hongwanji Doctrinal Studies. Since 2015, she has served as a minister at the Orange County Buddhist Church and is also an adjunct professor at IBS since 2020. Today's topic is Kyogyoshinsho teaching, 3 Pure Land Sutras. She will review and explain the contents of the general preface and chapter of the true teaching, focusing on the 3 Pure Land Sutras and the central purport of the Larger Sutra. Reverend Wondra will share her presentation for 60 minutes, followed by Q&A. During the Q&A, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. And actually, if you would like to put your question or comment in the chat box during the 60-minute lecture, that's fine. That might be a way that you can jot it down and not forget it before the Q&A comes up. So that's fine. So without further ado, I would like to pass the mic to Reverend Wondra. Arigato.
Thank you, David. Aloha, everyone. I am Mutsumi Wondra. It's very, very nice to see you, and thank you very much to Honpa Hawaii Mission of Hawaii, Honpa Hongwanji Mission of Hawaii, to invite me to this wonderful triple celebration online Buddhist education series. And I'm very honored to talk about today, particularly the essence of Kyogyoshinsho, the chapter of true teaching. As you know that Shinran's principal text, Kyogyoshinsho, the collection of passages revealing the true teaching, practice, and realization of Pure Land Way, Jodo Shinshu Kyogyoshinsho describes the systematic discourse of the dynamic activity of Pure Land Buddhist path, which he named the true essence of Pure Land Way, Jodo Shinshu. So this lecture reviews explain the contents of the general preface, Sojo, and then chapter of the true teaching, the Kyokan, focusing the 3 Pure Land Sutra, and then central purport of Larger Sutra. So first of all, let me share my PowerPoint I prepared. So at the beginning, please join me in Gassho, please. Those who truly attain Shinjin, as they utter Amida's name, being mindful of the Buddha always, wish to respond to the great benevolence. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So as I said, I mainly speak and talk about chapter of true teaching. But before that, I'd like to discuss about a kind of general information about the Kyogyoshinsho. So before diving into the contents, I want to go through a little bit briefly the title, style, characteristics of citation, date of composition, the purpose of composition, and English rendition. some of the people, those are review already, you might have known already. The title, the original title is Ken Jodo Shinjitsu Kyogyosho Monrui. In Japanese, this is the way it writes. There's a lot of letters, which can be translated in English as revealing the true teaching, practice, and realization of the Pure Land Way. It is also referred to as a Kyogyoshinsho, very abbreviation. We call it Kyogyoshinsho. The text is presented in 6 chapters to reveal the teaching of the Pure Land Way. It is also called the Honden or Honjo because the text is doctrinal foundation of Shinran's teaching. So I want to pay attention. This one is very formal way. Is Kyogyosho Monrui. Is there is no word shin in there. It's faith or interest in mind. But however, the abbreviation way, we always call it Kyogyoshinsho. There's some reason probably. We'll think about it. Okay? And style. What kind of style is that? Style is the text as a style of collection of passages. We call it Monrui. In that, Shinran quoted from the Pure Land Sutras, treatises, and then commentaries written by the 7 Pure Land masters. There are also some of the Shinran's own comments we call Gojishaku, which are valuable to understand his teaching. Okay? And how about characteristic of citation? Shinran is very unique. Shinran didn't necessarily transcribe all the quotations exactly the same in the original sources. He intentionally altered some for his emphasis. Kind of he changed the way it reads. The method is alteration is called kanjin, reading style. Okay? So it's really Shinran's reading is sometimes gets really unique. Date of composition. There is no historical evidence of when the text Kyogyoshinsho was composed. It is said that Shinran started composing an early draft in 1224 when he was 51 years old. He continued to revise the text until age 80, constantly editing all the time. Jodo Shinshu Nishi Hongwanji regards the year 1224 as a year of establishment of Jodo Shinshu, the true essence of Pure Land Way by Master Shinran. So last year, 2023, after a lot of people, I, with my OCBC members, went to Kyoto, and then we visited Hongwanji and participated Shinran Shonin's 850 birthday and then 800 years to celebrate the establishment of Jodo Shinshu, counting from 1224. Okay? And then you are also celebrating the triple celebration at this occasion. So the purpose of composition, why Shinran wrote this Kyogyoshinsho, there are many reasons. For example, Shinran wrote this text arising from his gratitude and benevolence to the Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and then also 7 Pure Land masters who guided him to enter the gate of the 18th vow, which is primal vow, after passing through the provisional gate of the 19th and 20th vow. Shinran defended and clarified Honen's teaching, particularly against the criticism raised by Myono regarding his assertion about Honen's rejection of bodhicitta. In clarifying the doctrine of the Nembutsu, Shinran criticized his contemporary priest of the path of sages and the aspirants of the Pure Land teaching who are ignorant of true way. And Shinran encouraged to take refuge in the teaching of Nembutsu of other power rather than futility of self-power practice. Those are kind of the reason maybe he wrote the Kyogyoshinsho. There could be more reasons. Okay, so how about English translation rendition? How many? There are a lot. For example, one is Kyogyoshinsho and translated, annotated by Kosho Yamamoto. I have it right here. This kind of small book. It's very good. It's published, the first one 1958 and second publication 1975. And then the another one is Kyogyoshinsho by D.T. Suzuki, Daisetsu Teitaro Suzuki, published by Shinshu Otaniha. This is another one, Kyogyoshinsho translation. Okay, it's only 4 versions, is a teaching, practice, and then shinjin and realization, only 4 chapters that Taitetsu Suzuki translated. And the third one is everybody, I'm sure you have it, it's collected works of Shinran, right here, right? You have it, I hope you have it. This is it, 1997. That's very important. We always read that. And then we can refer to D.T. Suzuki and also Yamamoto Sensei's translation. Those things, we can compare it, how they translate it. And then the fourth one is a Dr. Inagaki, Hisao Inagaki Sensei's BDK's translation. Those are available too. A lot. So you can really go through, and then if you're interested in how they translate it. Okay? All right. So those are the English rendition. Let's get into the Kyogyoshinsho structure. I'm sure maybe some of the people already read whole thing. Have you? Nobody, including me, I read Kyo, teaching and practice, and shinjin, interesting mind, and realization. Okay, but after that, sometimes I'm thumbed through, and I really have to read the entire thing, right? So the first one is general preface. I'd like to explain a little bit today, and then chapter of the true teaching, talking about Larger Sutra. I'm talking about Larger Sutra today too. And then next sensei is talk about chapter of true practice, right? It's talking about 17th vow. And then after that, there is a special preface on the true shinjin before the shinjin chapter. Very interesting. And then after the preface of the Truth Shinjin, there's a chapter of Truth Shinjin talking about 18th vow. It's the most important chapter. And the fourth one, chapter of True Realization, and talking about 11th vow and then 22. It's very important too. All right? The fifth one, chapter of True Buddha and Land of a True Pure Land Way. And then this is the 12th and 13th vow. And then the sixth one, chapter of transformed Buddha bodies and lands, which are the provisional means of the Pure Land Way, which based on 19th and 20th vow, pretty much doctrinal. And after that, postscript. This is the structure of Kyogyoshinsho. Okay, Shinran's very important. The writing. I'm so glad he made it sort of Kyogyoshinsho. That's his sort of notebook, because he took all that quotation from Pure Land Sutra and then commentaries, and then also shaku also as well. So with saying that, okay, let's go into general preface. We call it sojo. All right. When you open, if you have a collective works of Shinran, please open. Please open now. Page 3. Page 3. And then I copied everything on this PowerPoint. And then I underlined some of the area which are sort of keywords. All right? So we can read that one. I reflect, who is that? Shinran reflect within myself. The universal vow difficult to fathom is indeed a great vessel bearing us across the ocean difficult to cross. The unhindered light is a sun of the wisdom dispersing the darkness of our ignorance. Thus it is that when conditions for the teaching of the birth in the Pure Land had matured, Devadatta provoked Adatta Satru to commit grave crimes. And when the opportunity arose from explaining the pure act by which birth is settled, Shakyamuni led Vaidehi to select a land of peace. In their selfless love, these incarnate ones, Devadatta, Ajatasatru, Vaidehi, all aspired to save the multitude of beings from pain, affliction, and in his compassion, Shakyamuni, the great hero, sought indeed to place those committing the five grave offenses, those slandering the Dharma, and those lacking the seed of Buddhahood. We know, therefore, that the auspicious name embodying the perfectly fulfilled supreme virtue is true wisdom that transforms our evil into virtue, and that is diamond-like Shinjin, so difficult to accept, is true reality that sweeps away doubt and brings us to attainment of enlightenment. Okay? Beautifully done. Okay. As you know, the universal vow, it's the 18th vow, unhindered light, right? Unhindered light. Buddha's unhindered light of wisdom, right? And those are the Devadatta, Ajatasatru, and Vaidehi. Those are coming from Nirvana Sutra and also Contemplation Sutra as well. Okay? And preface goes on. This then, and the true teaching easy to practice for small foolish beings, it is a straight way easy to traverse for the dull and ignorant. Among all the teachings of the great sage preached in his lifetime, none surpasses the ocean of virtue. Let the one who seeks to abandon the defiled and aspire for pure, who is confused in practice and then vacillating in faith, those mind is dark and those understanding deficient, those evils are heavy and whose karmic obstructions manifold. Let such person embrace above all the Tathagata's exhortations, take refuge without fail in the most excellent direct path, devote themselves solely on this practice, and reveal only this Shinjin. Are hard to encounter even in many lifetimes, is a decisive cause of birth, as a universal vow. Hard to realize even myriads of carpets is pure Shinjin, is true and real. If you should come to realize this practice in Shinjin, rejoice at the condition from distance past that has brought it about. But if in this lifetime still you are entangled in the net of doubt, then unavoidably you must pass once more in the stream of birth and death through myriad of carpets. Holy, sincere indeed are the words of truth that once since grasped, never to be abandoned, and right Dharma, all surpassing and wondrous, hear and reflect, and let there to be no wavering of apprehension. How joyous I am, Godoku Shinran, disciple Shakyamuni, rare as it is to be come to open the secret scripture from the westward land of India, and then commentaries of Master of China and Japan. But now I have been able to encounter them, rare as it to hear them, but already I have been able to hear, reverently entrusting myself on the teaching, practice, realization, the true essence of the Pure Land Way. I am especially aware of profundity of the Tathagata's benevolence. Here I rejoice is what I have heard, and extol what I have attained. This is a general preface. I think this is beautifully written. I always read this one, and I always find something new to me, very, very deep. And then, to me, is this summary, as you know, as we read together just now, is the very beginning of the text starts, the Shinran's reflection within himself, right? And he writes that universal vow is a great vessel bearing us, carrying us across the wide ocean, right? And then it is as if unhindered light is a sun of wisdom dispersing the darkness of our ignorance. Shinran regards auspicious Buddha's name, which is Namo Amida Butsu, as a true wisdom that transforms us evil into virtues, because it is embodied with the perfect supreme virtues. The diamond-like Shinjin, unbreakable Shinjin mind, is a true reality that illuminates doubt and brings ordinary people to attain of enlightenment. Shinran tells us that we should rejoice in the karmic condition if we should come to realize the true and real Shinjin and practice. The preface expresses Shinran's deep gratitude of encountering the primal vow, which is a decisive cause of birth to the great nirvana, and share great joy to hear the word of Shakyamuni Buddha and 7 Pure Land Masters in India, China, and Japan, who transmitted the teaching of the primal vow. So structure-wise is number one, preface structure is teaching, the true teaching of Pure Land Way, which is Jodo Shinshu, essential meaning of the Larger Sutra, foundation of the vow and light, and essential meaning of the Contemplation Sutra, being liberated by the vow, and then essential meaning of the Amida Sutra, path of practice, saying the name, the word of encouragement and admonishment, encouraging followers to recite or say the virtuous name and realize Shinjin, admonishing followers against doubt and hesitation, and then purpose in compiling the true teaching, practice, realization, and extolling his encounter with the true essence of Pure Land Way, and revealing purpose in compiling the text. After he says so, and he goes on to the chapter 1, this is the core, the contents I am supposed to talk today. The true teaching of Pure Land Way, we call it Kyokan. Kyo means teaching. As the important is true teaching, true and real teaching. So when you look at that, the Kyogyoshinsho, Collected Works of Shinran, page 4, 5, 6, I guess, it shows clearly the Larger Sutra of immeasurable life. That's what he said, Shinran said. This is the true and real teaching, the true essence of Pure Land Way, Jodo Shinshu. And then he said, the collection of passages revealing the true teaching of Pure Land Way, compiled by Gotoku Shinran, which is disciple of Shakyamuni. And then we go into that, the first section of chapter of teaching. So, if you look at the page 7 collected works of Shinran, number 1, this is a Shinran's Gojishaku, right? Gojishaku. Okay? It goes, reverently contemplating the true teaching, true essence of Pure Land Way, I see that Amida's directing of virtue to sentient beings has two aspects. The aspect for our going forth in the Pure Land, and aspect for our return to this world. In the aspect for going forth, there is a true teaching, practice, and shinjin, and realization. This is a very, very important section, number 1. This is exactly the Shin Buddhism, Jodo Shinshu's doctrinal structure consists of Amida's two aspect, and then actually is a two aspect of directing virtue from Amida. One is me going forth and journey to a great nirvana in Pure Land Way while I'm living, and then return. After I finish my life in this world, I will return to this world, right? That's how the Shinran Shonin structured the Kyogyoshinsho, Amida Buddha's teaching. Okay? And then let's go into section 2. To reveal the true teaching, it is the larger sutra of Buddha of immeasurable life. This is a very important sentence, huh? To reveal the true teaching, this is a larger sutra of Buddha of immeasurable life. The central purport of this sutra is that Amida, by establishing the incomparable vow, has opened up a Dharma storage, Dharma storehouse, and full of compassion for small foolish beings, selects and bestows the treasure of virtue. The sutra further reveals that Shakyamuni appears in this world, has expanded the teaching of the way of enlightenment, seeking to save the multitude of living beings by blessing them by this benefit that is true and real. Thus, to teach the Tathagata's primal vow is a true intent of this sutra, and the name of the Buddha is its essence. You can see this section 2, page 7. Okay, this is another very important section 2. So Shinran says that the Tathagata's primal vow, the Amida's primal vow, is a true intent of this sutra. That means larger sutra. The name is Amida's name is Namo Amida Butsu, is the essence. That means the most important substance, right? Okay. So, just to kind of summarize this, section 1 and 2 is there are two aspects to Amida's activities to sentient beings. One aspect for my birth in the Pure Land is called also, is from my birth and toward journey to the birth in the Pure Land. And other aspect for us, for you, for me, to return as genso, to perform altruistic activities to save others. Save others. Not only myself. Now is try to liberate other people. The elements of the first aspect direct us to practice and shinjin and realization itself. And Shinran asserts that true and real teaching is a larger sutra. That to teach the Tathagata's primal vow is a true intent, true purpose of the larger sutra. And then the name Namo Amida Butsu is a Buddha of the Buddha as a true essence, the most important substance. Right? Okay. So this one is sort of, I will show you what I said. I try to say that the two directions, me and you and we going. This is also the blue part is my birth. I go to school, I got a job, I'm married, I retire. Someday I'll retire. And then someday I end my life here, right? And I'll become a Buddha. This is my journey toward becoming a Buddha or attaining the Buddhahood, blue part. This is also aspect my going toward a great nirvana. So that real, the chapter of teaching, practice, and shinjin, realization will guide you to this journey, right? So after I finish my life here, not only that, that's not the end of it. I will receive a great mission and I come back to this world. That's aspect of Genso, returning. I'm going to be a bodhisattva of returning to this world. I'm not going to be a ghost. I will be a bodhisattva and then try to share the Amida Buddha's primal vow and deliver the Namo Amida Butsu to all the people who are having a problem, right? Try to give them a solution and to liberate themselves, right? Now, this is a great teaching. This is Shinran's unique teaching. It's particularly the returning aspect. It's very, very unique. And then later on, some minister or scholar will talk about vow 22, but the Genso, returning, is based on 22nd vow. This is a unique teaching by Shinran Shonin. Let's visit the Wasan. Wasan says, this is a, if you look at that creative works of Shinran 370, is a hymns of Pure Land Master, particularly the Tanruan, number 34. Amida has fulfilled the directing virtue, which is two aspects, that for our going forth and that for our return. Through these aspects of Buddha's directing virtue, we are brought to realize both mind and practice. Right? That's what it says. So particularly this one is sakun. Sort of sometimes Shinran wrote a little note on the left side of his writing. So our going and our return, that means the aspect for our going forth is the directing of virtue that seeks to bring us to the birth in the Pure Land. That's a great nirvana. And the aspect for our return refer to Amida directing of virtue, so that after going to the Pure Land, we are able to perform the activity of Samantobhadra Fugen and then benefit sentient beings. Okay? Also another one. This is also the hymns of Dharma Age, number 51, Creative Works of Shinran, page 411. The directing virtue embodied in Namo Amida Butsu is in its benevolence of working, vast and inconceivable. Through the benefit of the directing virtue for going forth, we enter the directing virtue for returning to this world. Okay? The Shinran for Shinran, both my going, my return, your going, your return is everything by the Amida Buddha's directing virtue. That's what Shinran thought about. Okay, let's go back to the text. Number 3, section number 3. You can see we are still on page 7. And now it's a very good question. Very good question. Right here. And now Shinran is asking himself or yourself, how is it known that this sutra, this is the Larger Sutra, was a great matter for which Shakyamuni appeared in this world? Right? So Shinran's thinking, well, let's think about why Shakyamuni Buddha appeared as a human in this world. That's a question. So the Larger Sutra, Shinran Shonin always quote the Larger Sutra, Bussetsu Muryoju-kyo first. I will talk about the Larger Sutra later on. There are several kinds, but first of all, he always introduced a Bussetsu Muryoju-kyo first. So in that section, there is a conversation between Shakyamuni and Ananda. Ananda is a very famous disciple, right? He always goes with Shakyamuni, just like a secretary. He always goes with anywhere Shakyamuni is. So Ananda asks, this is a very famous Sambutsuge, Kogen-gi-gi, you remember? That's the part. So Ananda asked Shakyamuni, today, World Honored One, that's Shakyamuni, your sense organs are fulfilled with gladness and serenity. Your complexion is pure. Your radiant countenance is majestic, like a luminous mirror in which clear reflections pass unobstructed. Lofty features are resplendent and surpassing all the words or measure. Never before have I beheld your lineament as sublime as you are now. Indeed, great sage, I have thought to myself. And then Ananda says, today, World Honored One Shakyamuni, one abide in the Dharma, most rare and wondrous. Today, the great hero abides where all the Buddhas abide. Today, the world I abides in the activity of guide and teacher. Today, the preeminent one of the world abide in the superior enlightenment. Today, the heaven-honored one puts into practice the virtue of Tathagatas. Right? So this is sort of Hokkijo. There's another ritual chanting, very famous verse. And then the Buddha of the past, future, and present all think on one another. Do not you, the present Buddhas, also think on all the other Buddhas now? Why does your commanding radiance shine forth with such brilliance? That's Ananda's question to Shakyamuni Buddha. Then the World Honored One said to Ananda, that's a very interesting question from Shakyamuni to Ananda. Did the Diva so instruct you that you ask this? Or do you inquire of your noble mean out of your own wisdom? Did you ask your question by yourself, or did anyone ask you to question me? That's what it says. Ananda replied to the Buddha, no Diva came to teach me. I asked myself simply from what I observe. So Shakyamuni Buddha said, well spoken, Ananda. Your question is excellent. You ask this insightful question having summoned up deep wisdom and true and subtle powers of expression, and having turned tender thought to all sentient beings. And this boundless great compassion, the Tathagata is filled with commiseration for the beings of the three realms. I have appeared in the world and expounded the teaching of the way to enlightenment, seeking to save the multitude of living beings by blessing them with the benefit that is true and real. Rare as it is to encounter, the rare to behold the Tathagata, even countless millions of carpets. It is just like a blossom of Udambara, which never occurs. Udambara is a very special flower. I will show you later. This question, ask will bring immense benefit. It will enlighten the minds of all the Deva and human beings. Now, Ananda, that the perfect enlightenment of the Tathagata is immeasurable in its wisdom and vast in its guidance for beings to enlightenment. The Tathagata insight now, no impediment, nothing unobstructed. Okay, so this is the quotation, rendition from the Bussetsu Muryoji-kyo. Okay, so this really tells that central purport of the Larger Sutra, the reason why the Shakyamuni appeared in this world. So traditionally, Shinran's passage, particularly the chapter of teaching, has been interpreted to mean that he was a subscriber of that, we call it like a Shusei Hongai doctrine. Shusei Hongai. Shusei is sort of like a fundamental reason. Hongai is a fundamental reason why Shakyamuni appeared in this world, was to teach and share the Larger Sutra so that sentient beings would understand that true path to attainment of enlightenment. Okay? And then, after this rendition, Larger Sutra, Bussetsu Muryoji-kyo, Shinran then goes on to the cite passages from 3 versions, including this one I just read, and then other Larger Sutra, and 1 commentary on the sutra. Each of the cited passage describes how Ananda perceives the Shakyamuni, because of his serene and remarkable appearance, has entered a samadhi of great tranquility. The passage go on state that the reason for Shakyamuni's appearance in this world was to reveal the teaching, the path of attainment of all sentient beings, and then endow them with the great benefit. So there is a word, Udambara. Let me show you the Udambara. I don't know if you have ever seen it, but I checked that, I Googled it, and then it came up, this is a Udambara, udonge. This is udonge. So maybe the Udambara is the Indian Sanskrit word. Chinese people change that, translated this udonge, like only that translation, just sound translation. Okay, so this is really interesting. I have never seen this kind. They say is it bears a fruit. Fruit comes out, but however, never comes to flowers, doesn't come out. So this is very, very rare. And they say every 3,000 years it comes out. So that means really the same thing. The appearing the Buddha, Shakyamuni, or Tathagata in this world is very rare, right? Shakyamuni Buddha appeared about 2,500 years ago, right, in India and Nepal. So this is a rare incident. And then also, we're talking always 3 treasures and how rare and wonder it is to have been born in human life, which is a very rare thing. And then how rare and wondrous it is to listen to the Buddha Dharma. Those are all rare incidents, but we encountered it, right? So we feel very grateful to have encountered the Shakyamuni's teaching, Amida's teaching, and then also encounter the Buddha Dharma. Let's go back to the text. Now, section 4. You can see the page. Corrective box of Shinran is page 8. Okay, I said Shinran also introduced two more larger sutra. This one is called Sutra of Tathagata of Immeasurable Life, Muryojukyo Nyoraiye. So Shinran always show that the quote from the Bussetsu Dai Muryojukyo. This is the first one, Larger Sutra. And then also always he also checked this Tathagata or immeasurable life, kind of confirm to see both of them the same thing. They are having the same translation. What is the difference, right? So this is his second source is a Tathagata of immeasurable life, Muryojukyo ですね。Muryoju Nyoraiye. So Nyoraiye, the same section, English translation, it goes like this. The Buddha said to Ananda, excellent, well spoken. This question is well asked indeed. You have been able to see the Tathagata's subtle discernment. And well, have you inquired of Tathagatas concerning the reason for my splendor? O Ananda, all Tathagatas, this is the plural. It's very interesting. All Tathagatas who are to be revered and who have realized perfect enlightenment, dwell firmly in great compassion and bring the benefit to sentient beings. They appear in the world of great master. Events are rare as the blossoming of Udambara. Udambara, same flower, it says. This is why you have asked this question. This is out of commiseration for all the sentient beings and out of desire to bring them benefit and happiness. Well, I have you asked this question. Okay? And then also after this, Tathagata of immeasurable life, Shinran also introduced one more rendition, which is a sutra of enlightenment of ultimate equality. This is a Byodo Gakukyo, we call it. So the Buddha, Shakyamuni, said to Ananda, we find it is a world of rare called Udambara that bears fruit but no flowers. In its reality, the Buddha's appearance in this world is no difference from the blossoming of Udambara. And even though a Buddha may be in the world, exceeding rare is it that one should encounter that Buddha. I am now Buddha. Shakyamuni said, I am now Buddha, and have I come to this world. You are a person of great virtue, lucid intelligence and goodwill. You know beforehand the Buddha's intent. You have not in vain been at the Buddha's side, serving him. Listen carefully and attentively now as I answer you. So he introduced 3 different Larger Sutra, right? And then on top of that, he also shared that the master Kyonhin, Kyogyoshi commentary. Kyogoshi is a Kyonhyun, I think, wrote a commentary on the Larger Sutra. So this one, it goes like that. You can see it. Those are that very similar to the first Larger Sutra introduce you. It says, know Ananda, the perfect enlightenment of the Tathagata That is the Dharma rare and wondrous. His insight knows no impediment. This describes the most excellent way. Nothing can obstruct it. This refers to the virtue of the Tathagata. That's the end of a quotation of Kyung-hyung is a Kyogoshi commentary of Larger Sutra. No hindrance. So my image is sort of like even the dark clouds, the sunshine goes through and no obstruction. Buddha Dharma is really reach you. There is no hindrance at all. And after that, this is the end of the chapter of teaching. This is the Shinran's comments. It's called Goji Shaku. Thus, these passages give clearly testimony that Larger Sutra reveals the true teaching. It is indeed the right exposition for which the Tathagata appeared in the world, the wondrous scripture, rare and most excellent, conclusive and ultimate exposition of the one vehicle, the precious words disclosing perfect instantaneous fulfillment. The sincere words praised by all the Buddhas throughout the 10 quarters. The true teaching in consummate readiness for the beings of this day. Let this be known. This is the Shinran's comments, and this is a kind of summary or his expression at the end of the chapter of true teaching. And then it says, here end chapter 1, a collection of passages revealing the true teaching of Pure Land Way. Okay. So let's cheer again. I understand that Kyogyoshinsho is not easy writing, and sometimes who is saying this? Who is the subject? Sometimes it confuses me. But while I read the Kyogyoshinsho, and then also I can read a wasan, hymns. Hymns gives you a lot of information in a very easy way, right? Yeah, because Kyogyoshinsho is written in all that Chinese character, right? Kanji, Sino-Japanese. But wasan is hymns, was kind of mix of kanji character and katakana. Huh? So those people, like regular people can understand. So one is I found that this one is Hymns of Pure Land. Venerable Ananda, rising from the seat, beheld the majestic radiance of World Honored One, which is Shakyamuni, amazed with rare feeling of wonder emerging in him. He realized he had never witnessed such radiance before. This is a Kogengigi, right? Easy mugok. Yeah? And then Shakyamuni's splendor was rare and auspicious. Ananda, rejoicing immensely, asked its meaning, whereupon the Buddha revealed the fundamental intent of his appearance in the world. Okay, let's move into on. And having entered the samadhi of great tranquility, as the Shakyamuni was, and the great tranquility, and then the Buddha's countenance was wondrous in its radiance. Observing the depth of Ananda's discernment, he raised him for his insightful question, right? He questioned to Shakyamuni. You remember? We read it. And the fundamental intent for which the Buddha, this is the Shakyamuni Buddha, appeared in the world was to reveal the truth and reality of primal vow. This is primal. Who's primal vow? Amida Buddha's primal vow. He taught that to encounter or behold a Buddha is as rare as blossoming of the Udambara. that will tell you the contents of the chapter of true teaching when you revisit the hymns. Structure-wise, this is how it goes, right? The title, the text, name of the compiler, and main text we went through, and she runs a conclusion to praise the true teaching. This is Orange County Buddhist Church in Onaijin. We renovated 2017. Very nice, and we refurbished all the Onaijin. We shipped everything to Japan, and Buddhist professional, craftsmen, and put brand new and beautiful gold leaf and repainted. It came back. So we always think, oh yes, we have a statue of Amida Buddha here, and we have a Shinran Shonin right here. And then OCBC Orange County Buddhist Church is very unique. Instead of Renyo Shonin, we have a Myono Shonin who dispatched the first minister to San Francisco, the beginning of a Buddhist Church of America. We honored Myono Shonin right here, 21st Gomonshu-sama, right here. So when you look at the Onaijin, maybe your Onaijin as well, do you see any Shakyamuni Buddha's presence in here? Well, I don't see the statue, right? But there is. It's right here. We have a Pure Land Sutra scrolls. This is it. This is Shakyamuni, because Shakyamuni Buddha explained all the sutras, particularly the Pure Land Sutra. We're going to show you, in a minute. So this is really a presence and embodiment of Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha invite us, lead us, guide us to Amida Buddha's teaching right here. Okay? This is a very famous Chantal story, the two rivers and white path, and Ohigan time, some of the ministers talk about that Shakyamuni is right here, east side, because he was a historical Buddha as a human. Is at this shore right here, and then Amida Buddha is that shore, other shore, westward, and then me right here, and the Shakyamuni is telling me, believe it and just go through this white path, right? And then Amida Buddha also, yes, right, I sure will protect you. Okay, so Shakyamuni is always navigate me and then guide me to the Amida Buddha's primal vow. So as I said, this is scroll, Pure Land Sutra scroll, full scroll, because Larger Sutra has 2 volumes, and Contemplation Sutra 1, Amida Sutra is 1 scroll, so total is 4 scroll. This is exactly the Shakyamuni. Shakyamuni is right here, the presence right here. 4 scrolls, Pure Land Sutra is actually a Shakyamuni's presence right here. Saying that, let me go through a little bit faster as larger 3 Pure Land Sutra. As you know, everybody is Larger Sutra of the Buddha of Immeasurable Life, right? Because this is always Shinran treasured it. Daimuryo-jikyo. Sometimes we call it Larger Sutra. Sometimes because it's 2 volumes, 2 fascicles, right? So it was translated by Sangha Bauman many years ago, and it was a Wei dynasty time. And then the second one is Sutra of Contemplation Sutra of Immeasurable Life, and this one was translated by Kalayasas during the Song dynasty. And the third one is smaller sutra, is Amida Sutra, we call it. and translated like Kumara Jiva. Those are the Pure Land Sutra. Shinran Shonin treasured it. And then because of the Honen Shonin, the Shinran Shonin's Honen Shonin defined those are the very important Pure Land Sutras we have to base on. So Shinran Shonin succeeded that a teaching from Honen Shonin. All right, I'm running out a little bit time. Sorry about that. Those are the translation. There used to be 12 different talking about Larger Sutra. But however, only 5 existed. Or maybe just recently they found a little piece of translation in Turk. So maybe 6. But however, those are the major one. The one is the most the old one. This one is Sutra of Salvation through the Perfect Enlightenment Amida, superior among the Buddhas. This is a Dai Amida Kyo, we call it. Okay, this one is 2 volumes, but 258. It's the beginning of 3rd century. This one is 24 vows, and the second one is a Jodo Gakkyo I introduced in the chapter of teaching, right? This one is about this time, and then this one has also 24 vows. Number of vows are different. Okay, and then those are different translation. And then the third one is the one Shinran always used it. The Larger Sutra Image of Life, Bussetsu Muryoju-kyo, Dai Muryoju-kyo, 2 volumes, right? So 421 or 338 around that time. And then this one 48 vows, as you know. And then fourth one is Yuraiye, right? Is a Sutra of Tathagata Image of Life. It's 2 volumes, and this one also 48 vows, number 4. Okay. And then number 5 is a little bit unique one. It's Sutra Imageable Adornments of Great Vehicle, Shogun Kyo. Shinran never quoted. There are 36 vows in there. So just to introduce you, even the Larger Sutra, there are many used to be 12 different versions, but however, only 5 Chinese translation is available. Okay. So as you know that this is our Larger Sutra, and then the Contemplation Sutra is translated twice into Chinese, such later than the Larger Sutra. This is one Chinese version extant, and no Sanskrit original has even been discovered. The text originated in Central Asia, according to the most scholars. The Amida Sutra is said being translated in Chinese 3 times in the beginning of 5th century. However, only 2 versions are extant. A Sanskrit version exists, but was translated in English by Max Muller and appeared in the Sacred Book of the East, volume 49. There used to be also as a version written in Siddham, Sittanmoji, found in Japan, but no evidence found in India and Nepal. This title is Sukhavati Vyuha, which is the same as Larger Sutra. The Larger Sutras is structured like that, as you know. Prologue, and then main body, which propounds of the causal and resultant of Amida Buddha and Pure Land, and as well as cause and result of sentient beings' birth in that land, and epilogue, which among other things provides for the transmission of this teaching. The Shinran states in the chapter of teaching, the Sutra of Father reveals that Shakyamuni appeared in this world and expounded the teaching of the way to enlightenment, seeking to save of the multitude of living beings by blessing them with their benefit that is true and real. Thus, to teach the Tathagata primal vow is the true intent of the sutra, and name of the Buddha is its essence. Okay, all right. So I'm sure you know all the Contemplation Sutra, right? This is the tragedy of Larger Griha. Vaidehi's request, Shakyamuni help, and his response, and then she wouldn't try the 13 different ways of limited meditation, right? Those are the stories right there. And then Amida Sutra, prologue, Shakyamuni's spontaneous preaching of the sutra, main body, and epilogue. So give me 5 or 10 minutes extra. Sorry about that. I want to talk a little bit about a Pure Land 3 sutras doctrinal relation. We learned that Larger Sutra, Contemplation Sutra, and Amida Sutra. Okay, and then Shinran Shonin treasured the Larger Sutra, the most important, right? So what is the relationship then? So let's go through briefly and just this is a very additional information, and let me see, the Shinran twofold view of the relation of the Amida Sutra and Larger Sutra. We call it, there is a explicit and implicit way. Right. By taking the Contemplation Sutra as a model, we know that smaller, that means Amida Sutra, also possesses an explicit meaning and an implicit, hidden, inner meaning. Okay, explicit means obvious, right? This is exactly what we read, but implicit is very hidden, kind of inner meaning. That's what Shinran thought about it. And basically, the Contemplation Sutra is the Shinran rely upon that a Chantal and then Honen Shonin's thinking as well. So concerning its explicit meaning, the sutra teacher Shakyamuni revealed the true gate, which consists of the roots of the good or of the virtue, urges the beings to have the single-minded of self-benefit and encourage them to attain non-comprehensive birth, rejecting all other practice as small good. Okay, and this is it. And its implicit meaning, is a hidden meaning, as the sutra discloses a true and real dharma that is difficult to accept. It reveals the inconceivable ocean of the vow, seeking the bringing beings to take refuge in the ocean of unhindered great Shinjin. So as you know, its explicit aspect, the sutra teaches the practice of saying the name Nembutsu with its calculation of attainment of birth in the Pure Land, whereas in its implicit aspect, it reveals the working of primal vow manifested in the Nembutsu. Okay? The Shariputra also, one cannot be born in that land through the cause of small roots of good or small virtue. Shariputra, if the good person, neither a man or a woman who, on hearing of Amida, hold steadfast to the name and single-mindedly and unwavering for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4, 5, 6, or 7 days, then Amida Buddha, along with the multitude of sacred beings, will appear before that person at the moment of death. At the moment of death, the person, without becoming distraught, will immediately be born in Amida Buddha's land of perfect bliss. So in its explicit sense, the phrase refers to that exclusive practice of pain, saying the Nembutsu based on the practicer's own resolution and effort in anticipating Amida's welcoming at the moment of death. And in its implicit sense, however, it refers to the entrusted mind, which is Shinjin, which is a right cause of attainment of birth. Therefore, it is because of implicit meaning of the sutra as a whole conveys the message of attaining birth in Pure Land through the working of Amida's compassion. Okay? This is a Larger Sutra and then Amida Sutra's relationship. And then also, he goes also, how about the Contemplation Sutra and Larger Sutra? There is also the same relationship. Shinran stated the chapter of transformed Buddha bodies and lands of the Kyogyoshinsho. When I consider the Sutra of Contemplation on the Buddha individual life, taking into account the interpretation of a commentator, particularly Shantao, I find there is an explicit meaning and an implicit hidden inner meaning. Okay. So Shinran's view of the Contemplation Sutra is essentially based on Shantao and then Honin's teaching. However, he applied quite a new perspective for locating this Amida Sutra within the whole teaching of the three Pure Land Sutras. The above statement reveals that Shinran applies two distinct perspectives in his view of Contemplation Sutra, an explicit and implicit aspect, just as he does when they consider the Amida Sutra. So sort of based on that, he learned from Shantao and then Honen. He also developed that same idea about Larger Sutra and then Amida Sutra's relationship as well. So explicit is, we call it ken, refer to presenting the meditative and non-meditative good acts and setting forth for the three levels of practitioners and three minds that is stated in the Contemplation Sutra. And the implicit is referred to disclosing the Tathagata's universal vow and revealing the mind that is single, to which practitioners of the three minds are led through Amida's benefiting others. So, in their explicit meaning, the Larger Sutra, Contemplation Sutra differ. In their implicit meaning, they are one. That's what Shinran tell us. So this is sort of, to me, is explicit. It's kind of light. This is light, and implicit is kind of shadow, right? But in the bright side, you can see it obviously. But however, the shadow one is hidden, inner meaning. And then traditionally, it says right here, this is a dragon. Dragon is imaginary animal, particularly in China. And then the dragon always flies around in the sky. And you see the little nails right here, very sharp nails. Sometimes it's hidden, and sometimes it appears, and it's, again, as I can't see it. That kind of image of implicit. It's there. Implicit meaning, right? So, having said so, I just put a little bit the kind of diagram doctrinal relationship of the Pure Land Sutra is a sort of the top part is three Pure Land Sutra, Larger Sutra, Contemplation Sutra, Amida Sutra. And those are the three Dharma gates, as you know, as a gate of universal vow, 18th vow, Universal Vow, and then also Contemplation Sutra 18th, 19th vow, and Amida Sutra talking about 20th vow. The stage of aspirants, 3 stage, is stage of the truly settled, non-retrogression, and stage of falsely settled under the Contemplation Sutra, and then a stage of non-settled is Amida Sutra. Those are the ones. And then also type of birth. And then 3, this is a pure, the land they will be born. Truly fulfilled Pure Land, Amida Buddhas, true and real land, fulfilled land. In Contemplation Sutra is a border land, or something realm of pride of indolence. In the Amida Sutra, they call the city of Dao like palace. Those are the pretty much doctrinal, but there is a hidden meaning. As you know, as Contemplation Sutra, Amida Sutra, there is explicit, very obvious. If you read a sutra, okay, this is what it is. But however, there is a hidden meaning, is implicit meaning, which is the same as Larger Sutra. So that's what Shinran talked about, 3 Pure Land. So, having said so, the Larger Sutra reveals the true teaching. So, I'd like to close my talk, and I thank you very much to listen to me, and mahalo. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Reverend Wondra. We're a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay. I think what we'd like to do at this point is allow people a 5-minute break. And during the break, why don't you begin to put any questions you may have into the chat so that we can address them when we come back. So let's say I have 11:18 right now. So let's come back at 11:23 and we'll conclude with some Q&A and then the wrap up, because we have some information to share at the very end as well. So thank you very much. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Arigato. All right, everyone, why don't we reconvene? We can go ahead and start with my question there. What I put in the chat was, I am very interested in the importance of Ananda asking Buddha about his radiant countenance. Can you comment more about why it is so important Ananda asked rather than the Buddha just initiating an important teaching himself?
Okay, well, very good question. Thank you, David. Yeah, I like that. Ananda see somehow the Shakyamuni, right? And then, teachers, you look so different today. You know, and I'm sure that Ananda have been seeing him and living with him every day. But particularly, you look different today. You look great. Well, what does it tell me? It's just maybe the Shakyamuni was in deep samadhi. I'm sure they do. He was. But however, also Ananda's side, also as a listener, he realized it. My teacher is different today. Right? That's what I think. Ananda was ready to hear the Buddha Dharma. Ananda has changed somehow. That's what I think. You know, as a listener, Dharma listener, is, you know, sometimes it doesn't really ring the bell. Oh, okay. But however, today's message, really good. I really, really think so. I like that. I really, really resonated with me. That's the kind of feeling, I think. So Ananda was also ready to receive the very important message. I think. I don't know how other people think.
Thank you very much. I think it does have implications for us too about opening our minds with questions to receive the teachings. So we have another comment or a question in the chat, and this comes from Shaku Gankai. And he writes, "Thank you, Reverend Dr. Wondra, for your excellent lecture. Please, can you expound a bit on the revealing of the 5 virtues and the significance of this to showing the purpose Shakyamuni Buddha appeared in this world.
So Shakyamuni Buddha's appear, right? So mainly is a Shinran thought. It's actually to do this lecture, I read this chapter many times, many times, and then I realized that one of the particularly the translation, I visited also that original also. Where is that? The Sutra of the Tathagata, Immeasurable Life, Muryojukyo. Muryojukyo says all the Tathagatas. So to me, it's not only Shakyamuni then, all the Tathagata, you know that the Mahayana Buddhism, there are many Buddhas in the universe. Yes, right. Not only Buddha, there's a lot, just like the galaxy in the universe. But however, one galaxy has only one Buddha, right? And then other like a bodhisattva is helping, right? That's kind of structure, right? So that this is the Tathagata Immeasurable Life. Says all the Tathagatas who are to be revealed. So that means, the 17th about all the Buddhas in the universe really praise that Dharmakara Bodhisattva. Oh, you're great, you made such a great 48 vows. So all the Tathagata appear in this world is share that the Larger Sutra. That's what Shinran really thought about it. Different school, they have their own thinking why the Shakyamuni was born, because they want to share their own teaching, that's why. But, Jodo Shinshu Shinran, particularly, he really thought, why Shakyamuni, all the Tathagata was born in this world? Because they want to share the true and real teaching, which is Larger Sutra, which is also Amida Tathagata's primal vow, to liberate all the people, regardless any gender, anything, equally. That's a really I think that's and that's why Shinran never quoted the Lotus Sutra, Kyogyoshinsho, right? He always quote Larger Sutra, Busutsumo Rojikyo, and then also Nyoraie is Tathagata or Immeasurable Life, and then also to enlightenment of ultimate equality, Byodo Gakkyo, those are things. But he never quote Lotus Sutra, because he knew that. He studied in Mount Hiei many times, but he intentionally didn't quote any Lotus Sutra because of a reason, because he really wanted to emphasize that Larger Sutra, Amida's salvation or soteriology. Shaku Genkai-san, it's okay. Thank you. Thank you for the great question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sensei. We do have another comment question in the chat. This one is from Edith Bassel, and she says, "Aloha, Reverend Mutsumi. This is not part of the Kyogyoshinsho, but can you please explain the implicit meaning behind the exception clause at the end of the 18th vow? I learned that it's related to the story of Ajasatru."
Thank you. Hi, Edith. I know her very well. Thank you. How are you? Good to see you. I love Contemplation Sutra because of that. That story is very dramatic. Coming from the Nirvana Sutra by Dehi, and I have a wicked son, and Ajasa Sutra, and then those are the ones Shinran thought. Those are kind of bodhisattva. They are really actor and actresses, incarnated. Incarnate means sort of like incarnate. As you know, is they are kind of they are in the human body, but however, they are delivering the real teaching to us, right? That's why he called it incarnated. incarnated. So those are really, to me, is like a movie star, like Vaidehi, and son is Ajatasattu, and Devadatta, and everybody showed up, right? And then this one is what they are telling me that, and then the Shakyamuni said, tell him, Vaidehi said, I'm so tired of living in this world. I have so many problems. I want to be born in a very nice place. And then Shakyamuni showed up many Buddha lands, right? You want to go this one? You want to go this one? Kind of like a magical kind of glass. And then Vaidehi said, I want to go to Amida Buddha's land, right? And then Shakyamuni said, smile. He never smiled, but he smiled. That means, okay, Vaidehi is ready to listen to me. That's what it is. Oh yes, she's listening to me. She is ready to listen, receive my teaching. So he showed 13 ways to meditation. And after that, 9 categories in different way, right? And those are kind of like a kind of self-effort type thing, right? That's another way you can really, go into the nirvana. But however, it's a real meaning is how important to encounter the primal vow, Amida. That's a hidden meaning in the Contemplation Sutra. So those are the dramatic story is the surface of explicit. But however, behind it, as Shinran wants to say, you know what? The real meaning of Contemplation Sutra is they really want to hear the Namo Amida Butsu, the meaning of Namo Amida Butsu, and then receive the Buddha's, the primal vow, and then awakened and receive interest in mind. That's what the hidden meaning. Does it make sense? It is. That's okay.
It does. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. It does, but my question is more about the clause says that people who commit the 5 grave offenses and other things are excluded. And that's my question. It says everyone will be saved except people who commit those grave offenses. And Ajatasattu killed his father and slandered the Buddha, but in the end the Buddha saved him.
That's right. Exactly right.
That's my question. I'm always kind of confused about it. It says nobody's excluded, and then it says some people are excluded, but then it takes them back in the end. So what's the implicit meaning in that about the exclusion?
Okay. Yeah, it's a very good question. Excellent. So what happened to the Ajata Sutra then? He was saved though. He was liberated, as you know, right? So he was a Ichantika. He didn't even have the potential to become a Buddha, right? It's a worse man, right? But he sort of transformed. He changed, right? He turned around his you remember all the stories, right? And then he turned around his mind, and he awakened. He got awakened. That's what really it implicit mean. The surface-wise, it's sort of like, well, maybe he's the worst of all, and then this is a, exclusion. Except those people are not out of my primal vow. No, it's not. It's a, disclaimer is a warning. Please do not do that. Please do not do that. Please. The Shinran really said at the last part of I think the chapter of Shinjin said anyone who even have a 5 grave offenses, slander the Dharma, they all, if they turn around the mind, they all go into the great nirvana. Yeah, that big relief, isn't it? Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much for that exchange. Really
Okay.
good. I think what we'll do is take the one more question that's in the chat, and then we'll move to wrap up just because of time. But Reverend Joshin Komuro of Ilo Betsuen, he has this comment and question. Thank you very much for your lecture. One of the purposes of the composition of Kyogyoshinsho is, quote, Shinran defended and clarified Honen's teaching, particularly against the criticism raised by Myoe regarding his assertion about Honen's rejection of bodhicitta, end quote. Could you explain more about Honen's rejection of bodhicitta? Why did Honen reject bodhicitta? And how did Shinran defend and clarify Honen's teaching?
I see. Oh, very, yes, Kamuro Sensei, I studied with him in the Ryukoku, so I know him very well. I really appreciate a very deep question. And then, yes, bodhicitta is a, first of all, Myoe is a Hosso priest, and he was a very diligent practicer. And then he always thought, we do need a bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means the aspiration to pursuing the getting the enlightenment or Buddhahood. Myoe is more like the sage, gate of sage is more like a self-power. So I assume that a Myoe's understanding is a bodhicitta, bodhishin, based on the self-power, has to be there. But however, Honen said, those kind of bodhicitta, we don't need that. But he never denied, he means Honen never denied a tariki, bodhicitta, based on the other power, never rejected. So this is two kinds of bodhicitta, bodhishin. There's a Jidiki bodhishin and Tariki bodhishin. So Shinran's one of the reasons why the Kyogyoshinsho wrote is defend his teacher Honen, and then want to say that Honen never rejected Tariki bodhishin, never. That's what I understand.
Great, Sensei, thank you very much for clarifying that.
Thank you, Kamuro Sensei.
Well, I think we're about at closing now. So what I'd like to do is, I think if there are any other questions, we might be able to forward them to Reverend Wondra following the meeting here. But what I'd like to do is just thank everyone for attending today's lecture. I hope you found it informative and meaningful. And Reverend Wondra, we'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude for your lecture. Thank you very much for sharing your thought-provoking insights with us. And we're so pleased that you could participate as a speaker in this Triple Celebration Buddhist Education series. So mahalo.
Thank you very much for having me. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I think, I don't know if there are some more slides to share, but basically, if people are interested in the Honpa Hongwanji mission of Hawaii, you can see on the screen, there's a little bit about who we are and a QR code that you can use to access our website. If you do have any questions about the Triple Celebration, which is coming up this September 7 and 8 at the Ala Moana Hotel in Honolulu, you can contact the committee using the email address triple.celebration@honpahai.org. So the series, this Buddhist Education Zoom series, continues on monthly Saturdays, either at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. And you can see the flyer that's posted there on the screen, or also on the Honpa Hongwanji or honganjihawaii.com website. Our next lecture is scheduled for Saturday, May 18th at 10 a.m. The lecturer will be Reverend Yuki Sugahara from Sacramento Buddhist Church, Betsuin, and he will be talking about the theme Kyogyoshinsho practice, and he will focus on one of the passages, quote, explications of Namo Amida Butsu from the chapter on practice. So you are welcome, invited to donate if you are so moved today, either by mail or online. that QR code will take you to a place where you can make a donation. Again, Hongwanji.hawaii.com is the website, and you'll find a donate menu item there as well. So let us close today's lecture by reading Shinran Shonin's words written in the preface of Kyogyoshinsho, which is his masterwork, of course. To reveal the true teaching, it is the larger sutra of the Buddha of immeasurable life. The central purport of this sutra is that Amida, by establishing the incomparable vows, has opened wide the Dharma storehouse, and full of compassion for small, foolish beings, selects and bestows the treasure of virtues. The sutra further reveals that Shakyamuni appeared in this world and expounded the teachings of the way to enlightenment, seeking to save the multitudes of living beings by blessing them with this benefit that is true and real. Thus, to teach the Tathagata's primal vow is the true intent of this sutra. The name of the Buddha is its essence. So, thank you very much again, Reverend Wondra, and to everyone joining today, please stay safe and healthy. Aloha. Namo Amirutsu.